metaphorical splash zone or zone, if you will. So you've been warned. You're going to be involved. And this play has one of the most fun lines in all of Shakespeare. And most of you probably already know it, thanks to John Williams. So if you don't know it, I'm going to teach it to you now. It goes like, double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. All right, so I just want you to repeat after me. Double, double, toil and trouble.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Good job. Let's do it all together. Double,
Double, toil and trouble. Fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Good job. Yay! Now, congrats, you all been cast as fellow witches. In the show now. So when you hear the actors say that, feel free to chant along with them. It's going to be fun. Now, we are at Idle Hour. We want you to get some good drinks and have some fun. And speaking of drinks, there is a drinking game. You see these little tents here. So inside, there's a drinking game that you can follow along with the QR code. But please be responsible and make sure you can get home safe tonight, okay? Don't go crazy. And then if you like what you see, you can donate to the actors also at the Venmo code in front of you. And 25% of the proceeds can go to the Party Project, which is a very personal project. So one of our actresses who started the nonprofit. So if you guys can just donate a little bit. Let's see, am I missing something out? No, we're good. All right, so one more thing. If you, what do you hear? What do you say when you hear knock knock?
Who's there?
Enjoy the show.
When shall we three meet again? Thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of the sun.
Where the place?
On the heath.
There to meet with no great battle.
My country milking.
What cause?
Anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hovering through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He came reports as seemeth by his plight of the revolts, the new estates.
This is the sergeant, who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their heart. The merciless MacDonald! Worthy to be a rebel for to that. The multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of France and Galabasas. Kerns and Galabasas is supplied, and fortune, on his damn quarry smiling, shone like the rebels' horde. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel that smoked with bloody execution, like Valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gins its reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So, from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark! No sooner justice had as sparrows, eagles, or the hare of the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons, overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled their strokes upon the foe. Whether they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. I am fain to my gaseous cry for help.
Oh, how well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor boast. Go get him, surgeons. Oh, who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haze looks through his eyes! So should he look that seems to speak things strange? God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself,
with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict.
point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude,
The victory fell on us.
Oh, great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go and pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. Woo!
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where's thou? A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, a rump meat, which the rump that Runyon cries. Her husband, her husband to Aleppo gone, the master of the Tiger, within a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do!
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other. The very ports in which they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, pink, and pine. Although his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb. Right forward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, coasters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine,
And thrice to mine.
And thrice again
to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up.
So fair and foul a day I have not seen. How far is Maltforce? What are these so withered and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth? Yet are on. Live you? Or are you on the man in question? You seem to understand me by each at once, her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. Speak, if you can. What are you?
all hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Blows.
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shall be king hereafter.
Ah! Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outward My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that he seems wrapped withal. To me, you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favor nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy yet, much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Fiddle's death, I know I am the Thane of Cawdor. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief. No more than to be Thane of Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has it. These are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they have stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane word that takes reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
Who shall be king?
And Thane of Cawdor too, was it not so?
To the self-same tune in words? Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Host of hosts came thick with him, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense and lay them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
But for lack of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. And which addition? Hail, most worthy Thane, for it is.
Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life, which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebels with hidden help and vantage, or with both he labored in his country's wrath, I know not. But treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Bombs and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. I thank thee, gentlemen.
Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
I've trusted hope mighty, yet enkindled you into the crown besides Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange. In often times win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Win us with honest trifles to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank thee, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me an earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? That nothing is what is not.
Look how our partners wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him like our strange garments. Cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour run through the roughest day. pays are registered, where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other. Very gladly. Till then, enough. Come, friends!
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned, by the perfectest reports, they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned and desired to quench them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which tile before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Once thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be, what thou art promised. Yet, I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness to attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great wrongs, that which cries as thou must do if thou haven't, and that which rather thou dost fears to do than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise thee with the valor of my tongue, all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and physical aid doth see to have thee crowned withal.
Is the execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as if it were a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman upon whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, oh, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before, that swiftest wing of recompense was slow to open. Would thou hast less observed, that both the proportion of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe, in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything. Safe! Love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There in my row, the harvest is your own.
Oh, my precious joys. Thank you. Wanton in their fullness seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and those whose places are the nearest must know. We will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm. finesse and bind us further. Okay. And bind us further to you.
The rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
Oh, my worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step. On which I must fall down, or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
True, noble Macbeth, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I'm fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. 'Tis a peerless kinsman.
What is your tidings? The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with you, who were it so would have informed for preparation?
So please you. It is true. Our noble thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, almost dead for breath. Had scarcely more than would make up his mind.
The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the curtain of the dark to cry, Hold! Hold! Oh! Great Glamis, worthy Cador! Beyond his ignorant presence, I feel now, future in the instant. My greatest love, Duncan comes here tonight, and when goes hence tomorrow, as he purposes. Oh, never shall sun that morrow's state. Your face, my fame, is as a book where men may read strange matters. Behind the time, look like the time. They're welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, to be the serpent underneath it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall place this great night's business to my dispatch, which shall to all our days and nights to come solely sovereign sway. So don't. We will speak further. Only just up here. All to pay wherever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Ooh, this castle hath a pleasant seat. The air sweetly and nimbly recommends itself upon our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple hunting harlot, does approve by its loved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird has made his pennant bed and procreant cradle where they most breed and hunt. I have observed the air is delicate.
Cece, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which we still thank is love. Hereby I teach you, bid God yield us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service and every point twice done and then done double. We're poor and single business to contend against such honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holpen to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves, what is theirs and counts to make their audits at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and will continue our graces towards him.
Double, double, bitches!
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well. It were done quickly, if the assassination could travel up the consequence and catch with his surcease. Success! But that this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come, but in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instruction, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of the poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against murderers shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wit I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He hath almost stopped.
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hoe drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so? Really, from this time such I account thy left. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own acts and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have which thou esteemest, O ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the attic.
Prithee, peace! I dare all to become a man. Who else does nor is none?
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise with me?
When you durst do it, then you were a man.
And to be more than what you were, you would be so much. I've given suck and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, look my nipple from its boneless gums and dash the brains out, and I so sworn as you had done to that. If we should fail, we fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place. You'll not fail. Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather his hard journey soundly invites him. His two chamberlains will lie with wine and wasps, so convinced that memory, the border of the brain, is but a fume, and the receipt of reason, Olympic only. When in swinish sleep their drenched nature lies in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great well? Bring forth men, children only! For thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Oh,
from his own chamber and used their very daggers. Who dares that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other? We shall make our grief and clamor roar upon his death.
I am settled and built up. Each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know.
Pew, 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 pew. Let's go behind you. Ben, look out. We sure been in more scenes together.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not yet heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12?
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. Heavy summons lies like lead upon me, yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers. Restrain in me these cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend!
But sir, not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure of late, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal by name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect. What else should free have wrought?
All's well. I dreamt last night of the weird sisters. To you they have chosen truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we could entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make great honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but keep my bosom franchise and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good. Repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind? False creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain. I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which I now draw. And thou marshallest me the way I was going. Such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else with all the rest I see thee still, and on thy dudgeon and blade gouts of blood, which is not so before. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams do abuse, the curtains sleep, witchcraft celebrates, pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose hounds his watch. Thus, with Tarquin's ravishing strides, that's a reference, towards his design, moves like a ghost. Fear not my steps, thou sure and firm set earth, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones my whereabouts, and take the present poor from the time, which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, to cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me. Oh, yes! What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Heart peace. It was the owl that shrieked. Fatal Velvet that gives the Stardust goodbye. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mark their charge with snores. I have drugged their posets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho? Alive! I am afraid they have awake. It is not done. The intent and not the deed confounds us. Hark!
I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss it. Had he not looked like my butler as he slept, I'd have done it. My husband?
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now?
As I descended. Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Malcolm.
This is a sorry sight.
Oh, foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one that laughed in one sleep and one cried murder. That they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together?
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say, God bless us, when they did say amen.
Consider it not so deeply.
Wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I was in most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
I heard a voice cry, Macbeth, does murder sleep? The innocent sleep? Sleep, and knits up the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, the balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, she'd nourish her life's feast. What do you mean? Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Moms have murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Oh, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and slip the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think on what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. I'll carry them and kill the faces of the grooms with all burden, but see their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Oh God, they pluck out mine eyes! Oh, great Neptune's ocean, wash this blood clean from my hand. No, this my hand will rather. The multitudinous seas incarnadine, picking the green, one red.
My hands are of your color, yet I'm shamed to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Oh, hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest the occasion call us, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best to not know myself.
Wake Donkin with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Oh, here's a knocking indeed. Oh. If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should have all turning the key. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
In the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. You have napkins now about you. Here, you'll swipe for it. Oh. Hey, here's an equivocator who could swear against either scale, and who committed treason enough for God's sake, and yet would not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator.
Who's there?
Hey, here's an English tailor. Come hither for stealing out a French hoe. Come in, tailor. Here, you may roast your goose. Oh, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Never and quiet. This place is too cold for hell. I'll double quarter it. I have got to let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. None. I pray you, remember the quarter.
Because it's so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late.
Hey, sir. We were carousing till the second cook. And drink, sir, the great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir. Nose painting. Sleep. And urine. Lechery, sir. It provokes. It unprovokes. It provokes the desire. But it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and mars him, it sets him on, kicks him off, makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep and giving him life, leaves him.
I believe that drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir. In the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he did take up my legs. I made a shift to cast it.
Get away, Tim. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost just slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in, physics pay. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Yeah!
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard in air. Strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events. New hatched to the woeful time.
'Twas a rough night.
Horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Confusion hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke. Oh, the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
Mean you His Majesty?
Approach the chamber. Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with the new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Thank you! Murder and treason! Banquo and Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself! Up! Up and see! The great doom's image! Malcolm! Banquo! As from your graves rise up and walk like sprites, to countenance this horror.
What's the business such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak!
Oh, gentle lady. It is not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo! Banquo! A royal master murdered.
Whoa, alas! What? In our house? Too cruel anywhere. Dear death, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed life. For from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drunk, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and you don't know it! Out in the source, the head of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh. By whom? Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which we found unwiped upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them. Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, tempered, furious, loyal, and neutral in an instant? No man. The expedition of my violent love, how round the pauser, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin, laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs. From nature's roof, eggs that look like a breach in nature. There, the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers. Unmannerly breach the door. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart, courage to make love's known? Help me, handsome!
Look to the lady!
Look to the lady.
And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great head of God, I stand, and thence against this most undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all! Let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
contented.
Well contented!
Well contented! Well contented!
What will you do? Does not consort with them to show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England. This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted an hour. Safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Why, see you not? Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain,
Alas, what good could they pretend?
they were suborned. The king's son, Malcolm, has run away and fled, which puts upon him suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition that will round up thine own life's mean. Then, 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to school to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. All to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
May you see things well done there. Adieu. At least our old robes sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now. King Cawdor belongs all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playest most foully for it. It should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be ruined and father of many kings. There come truth from men, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? Hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest! I've been thought as good as a gap in our great feast, all being unbecoming. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll humbly request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie. Reverend it.
Ride you this afternoon.
I, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow's. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousin is bestowed. In England, not confessing their cruel patricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when then withal we shall have cause of state, craving us jointly. Hie you to horse. Adieu. Till you return at night. Goes Leonce with you.
Aye, my lord, our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell! To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares. Into that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There's none but he, whose being I do fear. And under him, it is said, my genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters, when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand. No son of mine succeeding, if it be so. For Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancor in the vessel of my peace. For them, and only them, in mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings! Rather than be so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Oh. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please, your highness.
Well then now, do you find patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed yours to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue you go for men. Both of you know Banquo is your enemy.
True, my lord.
So he is mine. In such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, bare-face power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet as of my for certain friends whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall who I myself struck down, and thence it is that I, to your assistance, do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Leon's his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll call with you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
Abide within. Farewell. Banquo, it is concluded. Thy soul's plight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Oh no, my lord. Kindly keep alone. I'm sorry his fancies your companions make. Using those fossils should indeed have died with them. They think on.
We have scourged the snake, not killed it. She'll close and remain herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger from her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and suffer in the terrible affliction of these dreams, which shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Malice domestic, foreign levy, nor steel, nor poison, nothing can touch him further. Come on, gentle my lord. Be bright, jovial among your guests tonight. Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dearest wife. Thou knowest that
Banquo and his fiancé lives.
But in the nature's copy, not etern.
Ah! Then be thou jocund, they are assailable! Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums, night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note. What's to be done? Be thou innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarp up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens. Thou marvelest at my words. Hold thee still. Things bad begun make themselves strong by ill. So prithee, go with me. But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust. For he delivers our offices and for what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveler pace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light here, ho! Then 'tis he.
A light! A light!
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
Will we rain tonight?
Let it come down! Ah! Oh, treachery! Fly, Gillian! Fly! 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 No! 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 Ah! Who did strike out the light?
Was not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We've lost best half of our affair.
Then let's away and say how much is done.
And grab a drink.
QR code.
Check the red QR code.
Have a quick 7-minute intermission, exactly.
Tip your servers and don't be late. Welcome back to my Halloween/coronation banquet. Okay, who can guess what we are? Taco Bell. Oh, what? Taco Bell. Very good. You know your own degree. Sit down at first and last. The hearty welcome. Ourselves will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her safe, but in best time, we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
Slenderman!
They encounter thee with their heart's veins.
Sit here!
Oh no, here! Please, over here!
Both sides are even. Here I sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon, we'll drink a measure. The table round! There's blood upon thy face. 'Tis Banquo's then. 'Tis better he without than he within. Is he dispatched? My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him. Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good. Thou did the like for Cleon. If thou did it, thou art the nonpareil. Most royal sir. Cleon's has escaped. Then comes my fit again. And it's a big fit. But Banquo's safe. Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 treasures.
where the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth will present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
Worthy Lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold, but is not bought, while she's a making given with welcome to feed our best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony, leading were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both! Here we had now our country's honor roofed, were it not for the graced person of our banquo present, whom I may rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absent sir lays blame upon his promise. Pleaseth your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Oh, here's a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here. My good lord, what is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good
my
lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory looks at me!
Oh, gentlemen, rise. His highness is not
Oh,
well.
since, worthy friends, since! My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray keep you seats. The fix is momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. If much you note him, you will provoke him and defend his passions. Feed and regard him not.
Are you a man? I am a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil!
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts imposters to true fear would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her granddad. Why do you make such faces when all's done? You look but on a stool.
Prithee, see, here, behold, look, lo, how say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst nod, speak too! If our charnel houses and our graves must send those we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites!
Oh, what quite abandoned folly.
If I stand here, I saw him. For shame. Blood hath been shed ere now. The times had been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your royal friends do lack you.
Do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Here, all say, give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss when he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all!
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold, thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasures of the time.
What man dare? I dare! Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery! Hence! Why so, being gone, I am a man again! Pray you, sit still. Woo.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good company with most admired disorder.
Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud? Without our special wonder, you make me strange, even to the special disposition I owe. But now I think you can behold such sights. Keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, and mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. At once, good night. Stand not upon the odd order of your going, but go at once.
Good night. Better help tend to Macbeth.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. How is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that doth denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means, the worst. I am in blood, stepped in so far, that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er.
You lack the season of all nature.
Sleep, come, we'll just sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are but young, indeed.
Did you see him when Banquo's ghost is there? He was shaking in his boots.
Why, how now, Hackett? You look angrily.
Have I not reason? Beldams as you are, saucy and overbold. How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all hearts, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now. Get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron, meet me in morning. Thither he shall come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide your charms, and everything beside. I'm for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and fatal. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon, there hangs a vaporous drop of cloud. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that, distilled by magic sleights, shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes of wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know, security is mortal's chiefest envy. I am called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays. For me,
Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again. Thrice the ringing cat hath mewed.
Thrice at once the hedge be wide.
On your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31. Sweltered venom, sleeping got, Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Fill it of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the ravined salt sea shark, root of hemlock, digged in the dark, devil's snare, henbane and rue, gall of goat, and slips of yew, slivered in the moon's eclipse, kelpie's nose, red cap's lips, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's children for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with the baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done. I commend your pains. And now everyone shall share in the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open lots, whoever knocks.
How is it now, you secret cruel and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know it, answer me.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call 'em. Let me see 'em.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that sweat murderer's gibbet. Throw into the flame.
Come high or low, thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power. Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Beware, Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear, all right, but one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth! 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 Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? And yet, I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate, thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. Ooh. What is this now that rises like the issue of a king, wears upon his baby brow the crown, and talk of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care.
Who chafes, who fronts,
For where conspirers are, Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until waves burn on wood. To high Dunsinane Hill
be? Who can impress the forest, bid the tree affix his earth-bound roots? Sweet boatman's good! Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, however thou knowest, if thou art come to profess it, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall upon you. Let me know. Ooh, ah. Why sinks this cauldron? What noise is that? Show.
Show!
Show!
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Oh, no other gold-brown bow's like the former. The third is like the first. Filthy hags! Why do you show me this? Starred eyes, the fourth appears. The seventh, what? Will this line stretch out to the crack of doom? I'll see no more, and yet an eighth appears. Now I see 'tis true. The blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What can this be so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer me up in spirits, and show the best of our delights. I'll show the air to make a sound, while you perform your dancing pageant, that this great king may kindly say, our duties to his welcome pay.
What? Gone? Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord. Macduff has fled to England.
Fled to England. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword. His wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do for this purpose coup.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Oh, let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face that it resounds, as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of Delar.
What I believe, I'll wail. What know, believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may discern of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god. I'm not treacherous. But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. All things foul would wear the brows of grace, but grace must still look so.
I have lost my hope.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave-taking? I pray you let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Lead, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases shore. For goodness dare not check
Each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer in more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
Oh, it is myself. I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice, so grafted that when they shall be opened, false Macbeth will seem as pure as snow. The poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Oh, not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name, but there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. And my desire, all continent impediments would overbear that did oppose my will. I make that such a one to rank.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It had been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet. To take upon you what is yours, we have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this, there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a stanchless avarice that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and his other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce, to make me hunger more, such that I would forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer-seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet, do not fear. Scotland hath poisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces ways.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, and confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern, no! Not fit to live. Ho ho, nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptered. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction, stands accused, and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was the most sainted king, the queen who bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy
here. Quick death, noble passions, child of the integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled myself to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction. Unspeak mine own detraction, here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to women. Never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted that was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this, upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command. Whether indeed before thy here approach, old sword with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon.
See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles. There's a hole there. In a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor bird, the wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight their young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom where the flight goes, so runs against all reason.
My dearest cousin, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but who are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves? When we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and none. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease or else climb upwards to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he is fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer? It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father is dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, so do they.
Poor bird, thou'dst never fear the net nor line, the pitfall nor gin.
Why should I? Mother, poor birds, they are not set for. My father's not dead for all your sake.
Yes, he is dead, and how wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
I can find me 20 at any market.
Then you'll die of
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet in faith, good enough for me.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
I that he was.
Well, what is a traitor?
Why, one who swears and lies.
Be all traitors that do so.
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Well, who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Well, then the liars and the swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers in not till you know me. Though in your state of honor, I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you would take a city man's advice, be not found here. Hence, with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were fell cruelty, which is to deny your Heaven preserve you. I dare lie no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now that I live in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable. To do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then do I put up that womanly defense? To say I have done no harm. What are these faces? See who comes here!
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
Ah, my ever gentle cousin! Welcome hither!
I know him now. God, the times remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. Cannot be called a mother, nor afraid. For nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seen to slide. Where sighs, groans, and shrieks that do rend the air are made not marked. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there scarce as for good, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
Oh, relation. Too nice, and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
Every hour doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified that one such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor! Thou liest! Thou shag-haired villain!
Oh, yeah, go!
You egg! Young fry of treachery!
Ah! Oh, he has killed me, mother. Run away! I pray. Ah! 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 Ah!
Who's next?
How does my wife
Why, well,
and all my children?
well too,
The tyrant has not battered down their peace.
they were well at peace when last I did leave them.
Being not a miser of your speech, how ghost?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time for help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good steward in 10,000 men. An older and a better soldier none that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer the comfort with the like. I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not match them.
What concern they? The general cause? Or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No man that's honest within it shares some woe. The main part belongs to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, for they shall possess thee with the heaviest words that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner whereon the quarry of those murdered deer would be to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven. What man ne'er wear your hat upon your brow gives sorrow words? The grief that does not speak whispers the overfraught heart and bids it break.
My children, too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
It's said.
Be comforted. Let it make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all! What, all my pretty chickens? And their dam? And one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macbeth! They were all struck for thee, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue. Gentle heavens. Cut short all intermission, front to front. Bring thou this fiend of Scotland to myself, within my sword's length set him, if he scape. Heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write on it, read it, afterwards seal it, and then again return to bed, all the while in the most fast sleep. Lo you, here she comes.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
Yes, here's a spot. Ooh, oh, damn spot out, I say. 1, 2. Why then? It's time to do it. Oh, hell is murky. Aye, my lord, fie, sultry ear. What ear? Who knows it? When none can compare powers to the pound. Yes. Who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? The Thane of Fine had a wife! Where is she now? What? Will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this. Starting!
Go to, you have known what you should not.
She hath spoken, she should.
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh! 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 Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come
bed. To bed. To bed. Will she go now to bed directly? Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their death pillows will discharge their deeds. More needs she the divine than the physician.
Good night, good doctor.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. I will not be afraid of death and vain till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee.
There's 10,000
Geese, villain,
soldiers, sir.
thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers? Patch!
The English force to please you.
Take thy face hence! Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! Give me mine armor. Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Push, shear me ever, or to seek me now. I'll fight from till my bones, my flesh be hacked. Give me mine armor! Hang those that talk of fear. How goes your patient, doctor?
Not so ill as she is troubled with the coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that.
And that the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, all none of it. Come, give me mine armor, put it on, give me my staff. Satan, send out. Doctor, the things fly from me. Dear mother, will not be afraid of death and pain till Burnham Force come to Dunsinane. Hang our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will last the siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. I have almost forgot the taste of fears. What's that cry?
My lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. In time for such word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day. The last syllable recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out! Out! Breathe candle! Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard from no more. As a tale told by an idiot, full of sound. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar! If that which avouches does appear, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive. Fear not till Burnham wood remove to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm! Arm! And out! That which is vouches does appear. There is no flying hence, nor tarrying here. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
worthy Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order.
Very well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
Such a man I am to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any that is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, a poor tyrant.
Your sword?
I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou was born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by a man that's of a woman.
That when the noise is, tyrant, show thy face. If thou beest slain and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched curs whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be, by that great clatter, one of greatest note, seems rooted. Let me find him fortune. And more, I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rent. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day itself almost professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strick beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on my own sword? While I see lives, the gashes, do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound. Turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine own.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain. Then terms can give thee out!
Thou losest labor, as easy mayest thou with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let's fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. Despair thy charm.
And let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb, untimely ripped!
keep the word of hope to our ear, but break it to our own. I'll not fight with thee!
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole and under it. Here may you see the tyrant!
I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, to be bathed in gravel schools. And thou, who burn, do come to Dunsany, and thou oppose, being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macbeth! And damn be him that cries, "Hold! Enough!"
Oh no.
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go on. And yet, by these I see, so great a day as this was cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing. And your noble son.
Your son, my lord, was made a soldier's dead. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought. Like a man, he died. Then he is dead. I brought up the field. Cause of sorrow must not be measured by his work, and then hath no end. Had he his hurts before? Aye, on the front. Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have heirs, I would not wish him to a fairer death. And so, his knell is known.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well, and paid his score. God be with him. Ah, here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head! The time is free. I see thee encompassed with thy kingdom's pearl, who speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland! Hail, King of Scotland!
King of Scotland!
I won't spend a large expense of time before I reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling forth our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher, and his fiends like we knew, as is thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. This and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace we shall perform in measure, time, and place. So, thanks to all at once and to each one, we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
Hail! And now the hurly-burly's done.
The battle both lost and won.
We trammel up our power